What is up, my beautiful crustaceans? I know it's been a while since I posted a video. It is winter, so we are hibernating a little bit in our little mud huts. But today's video, I wanted to talk about the leaders more so than the conversations I had with the people. Hopefully, when I get some more free time soon, I'll be able to release that video. But for the meantime, that part is going to be on a back burner. This video specifically is going to be about how one of the marshals or daycare people, however you want to throw the joke, but essentially you had someone who was controlling the crowd, telling people not to talk to other people, and you even had them attempt to try to get the police to evict me from the event, even though this was happening in the public, which means the cop really can't do much other than say, hey, don't talk to this person. I will be showing a partial chat because of the conversation we had. I thought it was interesting enough to want to put in this video about how if they stop invading people's conversations and just let people talk, you can actually have an interesting conversation. And then I will make a minor note about why sometimes you can get different stories from both independent and mainstream. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll see the difference between a mainstream video or a mainstream story versus a independent story. With that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. So I was wondering if I could just ask you like a few questions about the sign, the ice out. Like what obviously the recent events is what drove you guys out. But like when you guys say ice out, are you guys want them completely gone? Do you want like body cams like we did with the cops during the Black Lives Matter riots during the 2014s? Like what does it mean for ice out?
Ask who you are and who you're affiliated with?
I'm actually independent. I just do my own stuff. I come to these events. I try to ask questions, try to understand.
Are you sympathetic to ICE?
No, actually, I'm pretty like neutral. I try to stay away from either side. I just try to like have conversations with people, try to get their viewpoints out and about. Try to show people that Fox News or MSN doesn't make, not everybody that is on the news is crazy, so I try to have these conversations with people, and this one's going to try to interfere with this conversation, but I'm just trying to have like a back and forth and talk to people and just...
I think that we don't really know his motivation.
Yeah, I
and
don't
it
feel
is best
comfortable.
not to have
Oh,
a conversation.
I don't feel comfortable
And
discussing
if you
this.
want to talk to people, perhaps talk to people online.
Well, why can't I talk to people that are here though?
Try to talk to people on here.
Well, I mean, you're the second person to come up and tell me not to talk to people, so that is kind of interesting. I mean, like, ma'am, out of curiosity, if someone came up to you and said, don't talk to this person, do you find that a bit interesting that they would tell people not to talk to people? You think they would want to bridge the gap if there is a gap? Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think that we should be bridging gaps, yes. I'd like to know who you represent with your microphone and camera.
I actually just represent myself. I just do independent content. So I try to go to these events if I can make, but I work, like a 9 to 5 like everybody else. So I can't go to the weekday ones. So if I hear at a weekend one, I'll try to make an effort. And hey, like on cue, she's gonna come by and tell you not to talk to me and everything. Yeah. And I can tell you from the previous... What was that? I can't hear you. Love your neighbor, U.S. stop killing us. But like you just said a minute ago, we should be trying to bridge the gaps, and I just... Yeah, and that's why when I put the content up, I put it in full length. I don't edit it out. That way people can see an actual dialogue and have an actual conversation. Have a good one, though. Now, after watching and hearing her pull two people away from, I would say, mutual conversation, very respectful, just trying to be curious about what people think and why they think their way, I did find it fascinating that almost like a cult, she was able to get these people to just shut up, to be quiet, to resist any form of conversation, dialogue, or anything of that nature as soon as their ringleader came by. And you can actually see in the video, if you rewind it and slow it down, you can actually see her looking at me multiple times while talking to her partner. But it gets even more funny when you listen to the next clip. And I will say, it is going to be hard to hear, but just listen to the last couple seconds and you can see her make a snide remark and the cop remind her that this is a public event. So,
I thought that was obstruction of traffic there, disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
obstruction of vehicular traffic.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
That's what. That's what they.
Yes, I am here. But I was more or less trying to finish the conversation I had with the cop, than to try to get someone kicked out. Now, I would like to add in this next conversation I had with someone, I had to cut part of it out, not for the fact of wanting to cut it, but more in the fact of I don't want to get a DMCA from some big corporation like Disney or something. That is why it's going to seem strange that the conversation seems to start and end abruptly.
You go with the rules, and you want to have people that are trained to do their job. You know, if for instance, when I went into the Navy, I never got in a position of doing anything until I had gone all the way through basic training in submarine school and some other base schools.
Oh, so you probably had to learn how to breathe underwater a little bit and everything.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, mad respect to the subs, because like I hear a lot, not a lot of people, but I hear like a small percentage of people that think they can do submarine work tend to like go under pressure because it's just, you're confined, you're stuck with the same 60 people for 2 years. It's just like, so it is interesting to hear stories about submarines. I always was like fascinated by like their tech or the living conditions. That stuff's always been interesting
It's
to
all
me.
over the internet, right?
Yeah,
You know, and
well,
a lot of it, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it today, but, I was 19, 20, 22 years old,
that's usually when they get them, right?
Yeah, right. So when you think about it, all these multi-billion-dollar submarines, just remember they're being run by kids.
I know that is the thing. I think a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, the military sucks" or they're too aggressive, it's like, well, you got a bunch of like 19, 20, 21-year-olds running these machines, being told by people in their 30s and 40s to go do X, and it's just interesting to see what just a young adult can do with just a little bit of motivation push.
Training. That's
Yeah.
what I keep bringing up about these ice guys. I don't know if I have any problem with regular ice. These recent guys that have jumped on, I think they've been looking at some of the histories and not so great.
Well, I wonder, because I still have to look more into it, but I have read reports that they're doing like a 60-day course, which I would agree is kind of short. I think they could be doing a little bit longer. But it does seem like it's a combination between short training and Trump trying to fulfill his campaign promise. Because we both agree in 2024, that was one of his campaigns. He was going to try to deport all the illegals, the criminals. So I feel like it's just like two storms making this predicament happen.
The one piece of it that I think anybody would agree to is if you're going to have legal immigration, you're going to have judges.
Yep, I agree.
So if you fire a whole bunch of judges, what do you got? Chaos. And they fired judges.
I thought they were for a different sector, like they were for like fraud or I wish I could remember now. But I do remember them talking about a lot of judges getting let go, a lot of social workers being let go. I remember them talking about like demoting the status of like an LNA to non-degree needed job. I do remember hearing stuff like that. But as the saying goes, there's so much information, it's hard for one person to learn it all.
Yeah, and I don't claim to know it all. I mean, I did take a whole month of December off and even clicking on any of that stuff.
Oh, really?
This was I wasn't getting anywhere with it. And so when I go back on January 1st, I find out, well, very little has changed.
Yeah, I know, the world's still on fire and everybody's trying to get through it all.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I definitely agree. It does seem like this situation could have been avoided on everybody's end. Like, I agree with you. He could have used better training so that way he didn't get caught in the front end of the car. But I don't know if you saw earlier where she was letting people drive through and putting her car half. Imagine if someone had parked their truck or their car right in the middle of the traffic. We would consider that impeding traffic, obstructing to investigations and searches.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, you can look at it from all different angles, and
yeah,
I think it's
that's kind of why I'm here
to
try to.
System, but I don't see the logic of banning the local police or the state police from investigating this.
I thought they were in. Like, I remember hearing how the fire department showed up, then the med showed up, then the cops showed up. That was like my understanding of how it, officially the ICE officer that shot her had to walk away from the scene because, you can't contaminate an investigation. And his coworkers took over, and then I heard the firefighters came in, and then I heard medvac came in, and then I heard the police department came in and tried to keep the scene secure so that they could do a proper investigation to figure out where was the shots taken, where was the person hit. They wanted to do that investigation. Now I've heard some conflicting information, so this is where I need to put in, or I need to wait a few more days for more information to come out, because I think we could both agree this story is pretty fresh, so there's always, on both sides, they're going to say a lot of things, and probably only maybe 20% of it will be the real story.
Yeah, I guess there's that. I mean, I don't know. Like you say, there's so much more information to come out.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they allow everybody who has some authority to conduct their investigation unimpeded. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I think.
I don't live there.
Yeah, I know. We're stuck here in the New England states, and we're trying to figure out what's going on in Minnesota. I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it is. If I remember, I think the Minnesota mayor said he was gonna do a state investigation to try to press charges, if I remember right.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I don't know. It's hard to keep track because I remember him calling for the National Guard, and this is where it gets into the hearsay part. But that it's going to be the National Guard versus the federal government. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, but that would be kind of weird for them to want to do that.
Before we end it, I would like to bring up a local article that I would consider mainstream of the county, where they talk to Leslie and Lisa, both which, by the way the article speaks about them, makes me think that they may be part of similar, if not the same organization, because one talks about going to a protest every Saturday and finds that we should be not letting ICE take illegal immigrants out of America. They call them neighbors, which is a bit of an emotional twist because you wouldn't want your neighbor breaking into your house, eating your food, taking your shit. So I would not call an illegal immigrant a neighbor of mine. Nor would I want to have a neighbor who wants to impede government investigations. I do find that a bit interesting and wild. But Lisa, working with the individual nonprofit organization, wants to see 2 bills get passed in Vermont. One, which would make it illegal for government agencies to arrest people at schools, government buildings, healthcare facilities, or community-based shelters. And to me, that begs the question of why are we okay with criminals hiding in these areas? These are people breaking laws. Why are we okay with them breaking laws and hiding in places where kids are learning, people are being taken care of, people are working? Why are we okay with letting criminals hide out in these areas? And it begs the question of why does our mainstream talk so softly about what these people are pushing? Because if you take these ideas and you push them out, these people are okay with illegals breaking into your homes because at the end of the day, it seems like they think that it's not going to happen to them. And we all know that eventually it does come back to bite you in the ass. You can find the article to what I'm referencing in my description. But with that, leave a like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of the day, and hopefully it doesn't get too cold this season. Adios, crustacean.